Good afternoon. Today is Monday, March 3rd, 2025. This is Panther News Network. I'm Assatu Bailey.
And I'm Gabby Hancock, and here's the news we have for you today.
A aerospace developed in the United States have successfully soft landed on the moon, making Texas-based aerospace only the second private sector company ever to complete such a feat. Firefly's 6.6-foot tall Blue Ghost lunar lander touched down on the moon near side around 2:34 a.m. on Saturday. A parade of lunar landers developed by the private sector have launched this year, part of a convoy of robotic spacecraft that NASA and its partner agencies hope will pave a way for the astronauts to return to the moon's surface later this decade. Every single thing was clockwork, even when we landed, Kim said. We got some moon dust on our boots. Blue Ghost will spend the next 14 days conducting science and technology demonstrations, including collecting lunar samples, drilling into subsurfaces, conducting X-ray images, and capturing high-definition imagery. More information coming soon.
President Donald Trump said on Monday that there was no chance for Mexico or Canada to prevent 25% of tariffs from taking effect on Tuesday, sending financial markets reeling in on the prospect of new economic barriers in North America. Trump also said that reciprocal tariffs would take effect on April 2nd on countries that impose duties on the U.S. products. CEOs and economists say that the action is covering more than $900 billion worth of annual U.S. imports from its southern and northern neighbors, who would deal a serious setback to the highly integrated North American economy. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly told reporters that Ottawa would be ready to respond. There's a level of unpredictability and chaos that comes out of the Oval Office, and we will be dealing with it, she said. Trump's tariffs on steroids agenda may keep inflation higher and could tip the global economy into recession, warned Desmond Latchman, a senior fellow at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute.
Former U.S. Representative Mia Love, the first black woman elected to Congress as a Republican, faces an increasingly grave prognosis as her condition have worsened while fighting an aggressive form of brain cancer, according to her daughter. Love, who is 49, represented Utah's 4th Congressional District from 2025 to 2019. She later joined CNN as a political commentator and was rotating guest at ABC's The View. Posting to her mother's X account on Saturday, Love's daughter Abigail said that she and her mother's team has dedicated to prioritizing being and keeping her mother's comfortable at this time. Sadly, her cancer is no longer responding to the treatment and the cancer is progressing. She began receiving immunotherapy every 3 weeks since August 2023 as part of a clinical trial. On Saturday, Utah's Governor Spencer Cox sent well wishes on his social media, saying, Mia Love has served Utah with integrity, and her strength and grace continue to inspire us. Our hearts are with Mia and her family during this difficult time. Utah stands with you.
In more local news, the Pasadena Memorial High School shooting suspect, 83-year-old Dennis Brandel Jr., died Sunday after being released from custody to medical providers. Brandel was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for the shooting on February 1st. Police said Brandel was armed with a gun and entered the school where a band competition was being held and fired 2 shots, hitting a door and a 26-year-old man. Brandel reportedly told police that he was being chased by someone and that he was afraid he and his wife would be killed. Police say he drove his home in Spring, Texas, to the school in Pasadena. Officials say a group of 4 tactically trained band dads jumped into action and apprehended the shooter. Officials have not released the cause of death or why he was released.
This is Panther News Network. Please stay tuned in after this commercial break.
Thank you guys for staying with us. Here's your remaining news for the day.
On the night designed to celebrate the magic of film, the 97th Academy Awards took a heartfelt pause to honor those we've lost this past year. Leading that moment was none other than Morgan Freeman, who opened the Oscars with a memoriam segment with moving words dedicated to his dear friend, the legendary Gene Hackman. They also remember James Earl Jones, a man whose voice alone could move mountains, from commanding tones from Darth Vader and regal wisdom of Mufasa. The tribute continued to Louis Gossett Jr., the first black man to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. His performance in The Officer and A Gentleman wasn't just awarded worthy, but it was historic. John Amos redefined fatherhood on the television role, like James Evans Sr. on Good Time. Bill Cobbs, who was familiar face, graced countless films and TV shows, whether he played a wise leader or a royal friend, but not forgetting Barry Mitchell Cooper, the writer behind the classic Sugar Hill. As the tribute unfolded, it was more than just a montage of faces. It was a reminder of how deeply black artists have shaped the fabric of film. These men didn't just entertain us, they told our story, they preserved our history, they extended what was possible for those who would follow. For the HBCU community and beyond, their legacies were an inspiration. They remembered us why representation matters and why our contribution to the culture, the art, and storytelling must continue to be recognized and celebrated.
The North Carolina Central University Art Museum is celebrating the 90th anniversary of Elizabeth Catelet's impactful teaching career in Durham with an exhibition dedicated to her legacy. The exhibit runs through March 16, 2025, and is open to the NCCU community and the public. It includes one of Catelet's rare paintings and a collection of her works demonstrating her commitment to social justice, cultural pride, and women's empowerment. Elizabeth Catelet, who passed away in 2012, is known for her powerful depictions of African American life. These have had a lasting impact on other artists, especially those involved in the Black arts movement of the 1960s and 1970s. Catelet was a pioneering force in art and education. Her sculptures, prints, paintings illustrate African American communities' stories, struggles, and successes.
This year's Red Carpet event has started all eyes on the Los Angeles Dolby Theater, where Hollywood A-list gathered for the 97th Academy Awards. These are outfits that could go down in history and shape fashion for years to come. This season, celebrity trends have spun retro Hollywood nostalgia, shared gowns for monochromatic looks, including lots and lots of black. There has also been plenty of playful floral statements and men's brooches, though the devastation caused by the LA fires have participated noticeably and had more respectful restraint for their approach. Many memorable looks for individual Oscar nominees like Cynthia Erivo, Demi Moore, and Coleman Domingo, all of whom deliver outstanding looks for this year.
Walt Disney Animation Studios has officially pulled the plug on its Tiana Princess series as it abandons making original long-form content for streaming. A spokesperson confirmed that there will be some layoffs in its Vancouver studio as a result of this shift in business strategy. In addition to the Tiana series, the studio is also scraping an unannounced feature-length project that was set to go straight to Disney+. Tiana was first announced in December of 2020 and was envisioned as a musical featuring Anika Noni Rose and reprising her role as Tiana from the 2009 film Princess and the Frog, the film centering on Disney's first black princess. Insiders say that Walt Disney Animation remains committed to releasing one theatrical film per year in addition to other shorts and special projects. Zootopia 2 is slated for release on November 26th, with the studio's new chief creative officer, Jared Bush, tapped to direct and write, with Disney vet Byron Howard also directing. An unannounced feature is scheduled for November 2026, while the third installment in the blockbuster Frozen franchise is set for November 2027. That's your news for today. Keep watching for our daily segments that our Panther News Network team will give to you. But first, let's start with the update of our weather. Take it away, guys.
Here's your weather update for Prairie View, Texas. Tonight, Expect partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of rain and a low of around 62 degrees and the south winds at 17 miles per hour, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Tuesday will be cloudy with a 75% chance of rain. Wednesday brings sunny skies with a high of 66 degrees with light winds. Thursday brings cool temperatures, the high being 68 and the low of 42. Friday will have partly cloudy skies but no chance of rain. The high is 79 but will feel like 82 degrees. There are still severe weather risks of tornadoes and hail, so continue to stay informed. Have a good night and tune in tomorrow for the next weather update.
Welcome to Org Spotlight, where we highlight one of the many orgs here at PV, and we get to take some highlights from their representatives. I'm Gabby Handcock, and I am joined here with
Mackenzie Deer.
And Smilan.
And then can you guys just go ahead and tell us which org you're a part of?
So we're a part of the School of Public and Allied Health Student Council. And so our goal is to bridge that gap between faculty and students and promote health education, health advocacy, produce engagement, as well as provide them with networking opportunities to not only engage with health professionals in the field, but also with the respective faculty.
Okay, I love that. And so, and you're the vice president, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what do you kind of see this org as? Like, let's kind of go into, you know, how it started, what it started with, and where you guys are today.
Okay, definitely. So we started, it was really a vision from the head of our department, Dr. Branch Vitale, and she really wanted to just bridge that gap between administration, staff and faculty, and students. So that's where we come in. We're able to not only engage with students, trying to assess their needs and what they're looking for out of our cohort, but also being able to relay that back to administration, and we're able to collaborate between the two.
Okay, so with you guys trying to reach out to more students, how do you guys go about kind of reaching this organization out to other students who maybe want to try to look into public health and things of that?
So how we reach our students is through social media. That's the primary one. And then we also utilize other things like email. I know we're going to have text updates pretty soon. We utilize the resources we have and reach them in every way we can. We know a lot of students don't check their emails, so we try to reach them through social media. If we don't get them through social media, we say, hey, come to Leroy and see us in person. So just engaging with them in every way that we can and making sure that they have no opportunity to say, I did not see it, right?
Exactly, right. Okay.
And also, just to pitch in what she said, we also utilize our staff and faculty, so just updating the professors and everything about what events are going on and things of that stuff in their cohort, so they're able to just know what's going on around them.
So not just only social media, but also like their own, even their own professors.
Even their own professors.
About it. Okay, I love that. And so, for those who obviously do want to look into this, but they don't know where to start, where would you guys kind of take on that? Like, what would you try and tell them and try to help them guide with that?
So I would say getting involved with the building first, coming to the building that we have. You know, we can't alter the buildings we have, but we're able to add more on campus. So we're working on getting a new building. That is also something that we requested funding for when we went to the Capitol. So we requested $5 million to support the School of Public and Allied Health funding for not only academic advising, but also to hire top faculty and so on and so forth. So just upping that curriculum, following our social media. We will have an interest meeting this month, so we're open to bringing in more students and broadening our impact reach to the broader student body.
Okay, cool. And so you guys were at PVMU Day at the Capitol, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you guys kind of want to dive into that? Because I know there was a lot going on there.
Yes, I would definitely too. So we went to the Capitol in Austin, and we were able to talk to state senators, different legislators about like certain initiatives we have for the school. Right now we're considered a R2 school, and we kind of want to be on the same level as what Texas A&M, UT, where they're R1. So we're trying to up our research, and I feel like the School of Public and Allied Health really can contribute to that. So with that, having our own research building, our own resources could really help with getting us to R1. Also, like we are a very fast growing cohort. We're the second fastest now in the whole entire university. So we're outgrowing the little, like, we're in JJ right now. A lot of the just all the students are just in one classroom. So that isn't really like for the growth and everything that's going with this program and where we're going, we need more space. So just having that, definitely, I feel like the initiatives we went to the Capitol for would help with that. They were all super nice, super sweet. They felt like, man, if we could give y'all 14 million right now, we would. But definitely, it was an experience. It was a great experience.
And I do want to add also, we are a fairly new school.
Definitely.
And so we were founded September 1st of 2023, and we just hit our anniversary September 1st, 2024.
Right.
So we're a year and some change old, and of course we're way younger. Like the council was founded way after our anniversary. So we're also fairly new, but our goal is just to reach the students and not only reach them, but to also impact them in a way that they can leave PV in a positive way and use the skills that we give them to apply it to other professions and conversations with other professionals.
Okay, so would that kind of go into like the responsibilities that you guys have? Like, I know you're president and the vice president. Did you kind of want to dive into a little bit of that? Because I know just the day at the Capitol, that was a huge impact that you guys can have on upcoming members that want to join the council.
Yes, so with being president, there's a lot of things that I have to do alone, right, which is connected with the students on a more personal level, getting out in the field and actually having those one-on-one conversations with them and asking them like, hey, what is it that you want to see from the School of Public and Allied Health? And so we actually had a shoot your shot social today inside of Leroy, and we're planning to have more to continue throughout the semester. And so I asked some students, I'm like, hey, you know, what do you want to see from the School of Public and Allied Health? Is there anything that you feel we should do differently? And everything everyone said was better classrooms, more faculty, things that we're already working on. And so one thing I always emphasize as well, being president, not only to students, but also to my organization, is that a lot of things take time. A lot of things have a process, and as many things as we want to change about PV, right? We can't change it overnight. It's going to take years. So definitely reading President Tamika LeGrand's 10-year plan, as well as the department head strategic plan. So just keeping up with those things.
Okay, and then for you?
I agree with her fully. She said everything that I was going to say, so I really don't have any input, but she explained it perfectly.
I love that, like, because the one thing that we really need is reaching out to the
Yes,
students.
definitely.
There's the ones who need to hear from us.
And I just really, like, my job is really to just support the president and all the initiatives that we have together and just working as a team, so.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Y'all have a lovely organization. And I know that y'all have a lot of events coming up. So do you kind of just want to put your Instagram handle in there so everyone can keep up?
Yes, so some of the events that we have not posted just yet. Okay. So like I said, we have our interest meeting coming up this month. We're also going to have a lunch and learn on the 20th. It's the third Thursday of every month. And so this upcoming Lunch and Learn will be virtual. It's Dr. Lisa Van Hoos. She's a part of the DPT program at the University of Louisiana in Monroe. So this is a great opportunity for kinesiology students to pursue that field and connect with that professional in that field, as well as I'm planning to have Baylor come. Okay. So instead of just having PTs come, which we always have PTs come, I said, why not have schools come? Right. Because they're going to have to go through PT school. And so we can have someone come and talk about the residency all day, but we need to know, how can our students get into your program? What are the requirements? What's the admission process? Are there students like them at your institution? And just broadening those opportunities. So Baylor, we're going to have many, many events coming up soon. So
even trips. Okay. Like we have a trip going to Galveston. We also have a trip going to Houston. We recently had a trip where we was part of the grand opening for the new Smart Hospital in Houston for Houston Methodist. Okay. So we offer a lot of opportunities for students to just experience what career field they're wanting to go into and have that. But to follow our social medias, definitely follow PVAMU Spa Stuco and also PVAMU Spa.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here today. I know y'all just have so much planned, and I just love it all already. But thank you guys for joining us here today in Org Spotlight. Make sure you follow them and that you keep up with us at Twitter, YouTube, or Instagram at KPVU-TV. This has been Org Spotlight. I'm Gabby Handcock, and I was joined here with
Mackenzie Deer
and Samaya Land.
We'll see you guys next time, and stay tuned for our next daily segment.
Good evening, I'm Chloe Stubblefield, and this is A Bone to Pick, where we address issues affecting our student life here at Prairie View A&M University. Today, we're diving into an issue that affects every student on this campus, our unreliable, slow, and downright frustrating Wi-Fi. Whether you're trying to submit an assignment, stream a lecture, or even just check your email, there's a good chance you've experienced that dreaded buffering wheel or had your connection dropped at the worst possible time. For a university that prides itself on growth and innovation, why does it feel like our internet connection is still stuck in the past? Now let's be honest, PV's Wi-Fi has a mind of its own. Some days it works just fine, but most of the time it's a game of chance. One minute you have a strong signal, and the next you're disconnected mid-Zoom call, or watching your research page fail to load. And don't even think about trying to use Wi-Fi in some dorms. Students living in the UC or the phases might as well be using dial-up. Classrooms aren't any better. Students in old or new science buildings struggle to take notes online because the connection just keeps cutting out. Professors trying to play videos or pull up presentations only to be met with endless loading screens. And let's not even talk about midterms and finals. Imagine trying to take an online exam with a ghost that disappears with a Wi-Fi that disappears like a ghost. The university has thousands of students relying on this service daily, yet the bandwidth doesn't seem to support our needs. PVAMU has been growing and accepting more and more students each year, but has the Wi-Fi kept up? Spoiler alert, it hasn't. And what's the solution, students here? Try using an Ethernet cable. Oh sure, let me just carry one around and plug it into what exactly? My phone, tablet, my sanity? That's not a solution. That's a workaround for a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place. This is a problem that's affecting academics, work, and student life. We pay tuition and fees that should ensure basic campus functions, and Wi-Fi is one of them. PVAM needs to invest in a stronger, more reliable internet framework that actually meets students' needs. So what's the solution? Because students are paying for an education, and that education includes reliable access to the internet. First, PVAMU needs to expand its network infrastructure. More routers, stronger bandwidth, and boosters in dorms, classrooms, and student hubs. We're not in 2010. Our campus internet should reflect that. Also, IT should be providing real-time updates when there are outages. If the Wi-Fi is down, students shouldn't have to play detective to figure out what's happening. A simple text or email would do wonders. Second, students keep making noise. Report every issue, push our demands to SGA, and don't settle for just deal with it. We deserve reliable internet because let's be honest, in today's world, bad Wi-Fi is a barrier to success. For now, I'm Chloe Stubblefield, and this has been A Bone to Pick. Stay connected, PV, if your Wi-Fi lets you.
Welcome to For the Culture. I'm Morgan Spann, and in honor of Women's History Month, we will continue another week of learning about our awesome women of color and what they've contributed to not only this country, but to the entire world. Today's topic will be talking about someone who made a huge impact in Congress and set the tone for Black women in that field. Barbara Jordan was born on February 21st, 1936 in Houston, Texas. Jordan was one of the youngest of 3 daughters in a close-knit family. In high school, she was a very skilled public speaker, winning a national debate contest in 1952. While attending the Texas Southern University, she became a member of the debate team. In fact, tied with Harvard University in one of her contests, making it one of her proudest moments. After graduating in 1956, she attended Boston University Law School, where she was one of the 2 graduates of color. Although passing the bar exam in Massachusetts, she ended up going to the Tuskegee Institute, which is now called the Tuskegee University. She moved back to Texas, gaining admittance to the bar there. She was an effective campaign leader in the 1960 presidential election for Democrats. Although having 2 unsuccessful races for the Texas House of Representatives in 1962 and in 1964, she was elected in 1966 to the Texas Senate, making her the first member of color since 1893. and the first woman ever elected to that legislative body. From previous knowledge of general politics, her success became very large and fitted in very well on committee assignments. She often focused her work on the environment, anti-discrimination clause in state business contracts, and urban legislation. In 1967, she caught the attention of President Lyndon B. Johnson, inviting her to the White House for a preview of the 1967 Civil Rights Message. Jordan remained in the Texas Senate until 1972, being elected into the U.S. House of Representatives from Texas's 18th District. She advocated for the poor, minorities, and sponsored bills that expanded workers' compensation. She was also responsible for the Voting Rights Act of 1965, covering Mexican Americans in the Southwest. Sources say she didn't become a national figure until the 1974 hearing of the impeachment of President Richard Nixon about the Watergate scandal, which was televised nationwide. In 1976 Democratic Convention, her historical keynote address made her one of the most commanding and articulate public speakers of her era. She retired from Congress in 1979, then accepted a position at the University of Texas, teaching at the Lyndon B. Johnson School of Public Affairs until her death. She passed away on January 17, 1996. Not only did she get things done in her time being in Congress, she was not afraid to use her voice. Sometimes fighting it with your fist isn't always the answer. Instead, with your brains. She had a lot of it, and we will forever appreciate her contributions and her representation of Texas. Happy Women's History Month. I'm Morgan Spann, and this is For the Culture.
That concludes our show for this afternoon. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter at KPVU-TV. This is Panther News Network. I'm Assatu Bailey.
And I'm Gabby Handcock, and thank you guys for joining us.